It's official!
Is this thing on? Mic check 1 2 1 2. If you are hearing me, then that means we're live. And if we are live, that means that Legally Unapologetic is now a go. So welcome to my first episode of Legally Unapologetic, a podcast for Black women in the law to share their unique experiences and perspectives. I am your host, Octavia M. And guys, let me just start by saying I am so excited to launch this new podcast. A lot of us face different challenges and struggles, sometimes within the workplace, but also outside of the workplace. And because of that, I wanted to create this space, which is really a safe space, not only for us to share some of our experiences and talk about our journeys and talk about things that, we might not have the opportunity to talk about otherwise, especially within our workplace. But I also wanted to foster a community. What other way to do it than launching a podcast? So who is Octavia M? For those that may know me, hi. For those that are new and will be getting to know me, hi. Yes, I'm going to share my story. This is the first time that a lot of people may be hearing my story. And, before we can move forward, I think that it's important for us to address the elephant in the room. So why am I doing all this, right? Mental health is an important thing, especially in the legal profession, especially among Black women. I mean, let's be real. It's hard. I'm just going to put it out there. And we deal with a lot of different things coming at us at once that may impact our mental health. And oftentimes it leads to burnout. And oftentimes we leave the profession. That's exactly what happened to me. And that's, I'm not shy about it. This is the first time that I'm publicly being open about it. But I'm doing it because I can't run from it anymore. Right? Where do we begin? I went to law school, University of Miami. After graduation, I started my law journey. Practicing for a small defense firm in Miami. I did that for about 2 years, and then I decided, okay, I want a different challenge. And at the time, I was being recruited by a national law firm to practice commercial litigation. Made the transition and did well there and in that space for about 2.5 years before I went on and did a federal clerkship. After my federal clerkship, had the opportunity to go back to that law firm, but I wanted to make a transition. I didn't want to be in Miami anymore, and I decided, okay, let's move to Atlanta. So here we are in Atlanta, Georgia. And August of 2021, I'm going back into the law firm, but this is the first time that I'm having the opportunity to really practice in a pandemic. When the pandemic started, I transitioned out and I was starting my clerkship. So I had never practiced law in this new norm. And to make matters worse, I was now in an office away from my people. And a lot of people weren't coming into the Atlanta office. When I left the firm prior to the pandemic, I was used to the hustle and bustle and being in the halls and hearing the phones and, a lot of people. I'm having to adapt to this new norm, which, if I'm being honest, was uncomfortable. I'm not used to seeing empty hallways. I'm not used to not hearing phones ring. I'm not used to not hearing, the office chatter. Even if I wasn't necessarily engaging, I just was not used to what the law firm looked like now. So not only am I trying to adapt to this new environment here in Atlanta, Georgia, I got bad news about the bar. Everybody that's practicing out there knows if you try to move, you're going to have to sit for that another bar. And I had sat for the Georgia bar in July, but I missed it. And this was a very humbling moment for me. Not only do you have me trying to adapt and adjust to this new environment, but now I have this chip on my shoulder because I've failed a bar exam. And I'm worried about what that looks like for my job and now in this new location of Atlanta, Georgia. Work is busy. Everybody that works private practice knows that there's just a lot going on at all times. So now I'm trying to get caught up in work, but then I have to study again and I have to take another bar exam, which is very draining. So you fast forward to March of 2022, guys, and I just burnt out. And a lot of that was because I wasn't listening to myself. I was going 100 miles per hour. And if I'm being honest, and I didn't know in what direction. So that was another thing that was contributing to my mental health issues, especially in the workplace. In March, my therapist told me that she felt like I was struggling and that I was borderline depressed. Again, a new word for me because in my life, everybody that knows my personality, that's just not who I am. So how do you deal with trying to adapt to work in a new office, in a new environment, in the middle of a pandemic, while also waiting for bar results and trying to figure out if you can even practice in Georgia, but then the added pressure of, Octavia, you're also a year away from partnership. There was a lot going on in my space at that time. And I'm being open and candid with you guys because I had never been open and candid with anyone about this. For those that were seeing me, they started seeing a new version of me, a different version of me, a version of myself that I didn't even recognize. And these were all red flags. I was literally drowning and I didn't necessarily know how to ask for help. You fast forward to June. The bar's behind me. By the grace, I passed. But now I'm questioning, okay, I'm going into my 33rd year. What does that look like? What do I want for my life? And the worst part about it all is I didn't know the answer to that question. I had no idea. But I knew I needed a break. I traveled to Jamaica for my 33rd birthday. And I remember that morning I was praying, God, please remove anything that is no longer serving me. Please remove it. By that Thursday, I was having a conversation that I didn't think I was going to be having, if I'm being honest, with my senior partner. And he asked me straight up, Octavia, what do you want? And I said, not this. And in that moment, I had just conveyed something that I had been sitting on and hiding from for so long. I was not happy. I didn't know what I wanted. If I'm being honest, I didn't know where my life was going. Partnership, don't want that, have no interest. Do I want to work in a law firm? No, I'm tired. And what is it that you want to do with your life? I had no idea. So I decided that I would quit my job. And I was going to quit, but I was also going to rest. People said, what are you going to do next? I'm going to rest. I think my family thought I was crazy. Hell, I probably thought I was crazy because, what? People that look like us, sometimes we don't have that luxury. But here I was, willing to give it all up. And a lot of it was because I needed a moment of rest. I needed a moment of reset. I needed a moment to figure out what it was that I wanted to do without the pressures of doing what people expected me to do. So I took my rest. Now, that's my journey. That's my story. You fast forward to March, and here we are, we're launching a podcast. And there's so much that has happened in between the time that I left the firm to this moment. But what I really want to highlight is what I've learned about myself. I've learned that I have to be true to myself no matter what. And sometimes that means making decisions even if you don't necessarily know how they're going to pan out. If you would have told me in 2015 when I graduated that I would be here in 2023, I would say no way. Because I thought that I was on a career path and I was moving in a direction towards a goal that we oftentimes, all of us, we want to achieve. But sometimes the path that we are told we must go and we must walk isn't necessarily the path that's right for us. And I would challenge any and every one of you to figure that piece out. This is a hard and long profession. And I'm in no way sitting here condoning quitting your job. What this podcast and what this space is about is taking care of yourself, checking in with yourself, making sure that you are being real with yourself. I had to be real with me, and that ultimately led me here. Have you been real with yourself lately? And if so, what does that look like? I'm excited to talk about that. I'm excited to dive into that more. I'm excited to explore all of that. I hope I can count on all of y'all to tune in. I want to hear from you. Again, this is, more about you all and the listeners out there than it is about me. I want you guys to be able to reach out to me. I'll provide my email address. I think a lot of you guys follow me on social, but if you don't, go ahead and follow the Legally Unapologetic page at Legally Unapologetic, one word, or follow my personal page at OMG_ESQ. I'm so excited to get to know all of you guys over this next couple of months, hopefully the next couple of years. And yes, I hope you'll tune in and learn more about Legally Unapologetic, and I'm excited. Let's do this. So there you have it. That was just my first episode, and I promise you guys we are just scratching the surface. I wanted to provide some background just to kind of set the foundation as to why I am doing what I'm doing. My journey, my story, it took a very unpredictable pivot. However, I'm trying to use this as an opportunity to serve as a voice. And I'm so excited about the content that I have lined up for you guys this season, talking about anything from authenticity to imposter syndrome to burnout to mental health awareness to balancing life and work as a Black woman. And the ladies that I have lined up for you guys, they're all amazing in each and every way. They've been successful in navigating these spaces. But they're also excited to come and join me as they share their experiences and their perspectives. We have a long season, and episodes will be released on the first and third Tuesday of every month. I'll be releasing 2 episodes per month. Today's episode was released specially for my grandma's birthday, which fell on a Sunday. So happy birthday, Ma. I hope you are excited and proud and watching over me. Please continue to guide me. Please continue to walk with me. Everything I do is for you, and I'm so thankful that you set the foundation for me and help shape me into the woman that I am today. Love you. This is for you. And yes, thank you for teaching me how to walk in my power unapologetically. Listeners, please follow us on social media. Please share this content. IG, Legally Unapologetic, all one word. We're also on YouTube. And yes, we are streaming on all major platforms. So please tune in first and third Tuesdays of every month. We're going to have fun this season. Thank y'all for tuning into the first episode, and stay tuned for more content.